Good evening and welcome to Current Issues. I'm your host, Hesham Tillawi. It was an interesting first hour, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, the subject was interesting and, we had people disagreeing with each other and, like Rick and Judy. And Judy wrote an email saying that she did not say that the Zionist Jews are not involved. I said that at the top they are milled. How could Catholics be anti-Zionist and work with the Rothschilds and Kissinger? Well, some of the Arabs are anti-Zionist and they still work with the Zionist. So it's an interesting subject, but if Rick and Judy want to continue their debate, more than welcome, call and I'll put you both together and you can go at it. Now, like I said in the first hour, of course, the subject of the first hour, to tell you the truth, I don't know where to go with that. It's probably beyond my comprehension to even think that there are these Knight Templars and the Knight of Maltas and, it has to be somebody. I know that there is somebody behind the government that we see. Normally the government that you normally see, there is another government behind them or behind it that you don't see. That's a fact. That's a fact. But is it these bankers, and these bankers are the secret societies and the Illuminatis and the Skull and Bones and all that? And what effect will that have on our lives? I can't tell you. I don't know. And if this stuff, what we talked about in the first hour, if it was junk, I don't know. But at least it's a subject of interest that you probably, if you want to know more about it, just, go on and read more about it. Or this Freemasonry stuff, it could be like my friend 2 weeks ago at dinner. He told me that he was a Freemason, that he was a Mason himself, and he said, you want to know? Very much it was like, go in and find out. It's for you to find out. And that's what he kept telling me, that it's only people on the men who love each other and they want to help each other. That's about it. Now, the next subject that I want to get into is the local subject, but actually it's a national subject, but it was written by a local guy. But before I go there, I see Rick is calling back. Go ahead, Rick. Rick, are you there? Rick, you're probably going to have to call back because I can't get you over here. I don't know what's going on. So, Rick, are you there? Are you there, Rick? Rick, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Doc.
There we go. We finally got it. Go ahead.
Well, my argument with Judy Andreas and Macau is, if they're so anti-Zionist, why aren't they pinpointing, the Jews that are involved? I mean, why not just come right out and say, hey, there might be one person in the Vatican or a few. Let's hear the names of the people. What is the Pope supposed to do? Is he supposed to say, no, Mr. Kissinger, you can't visit the Vatican? I mean, they don't know what's being said in the Vatican. I haven't heard what's being said.
Well, I see what you're saying, but as far as Kissinger, he was hired by the Pope as an advisor, but that doesn't mean that the Pope is an Illuminati and that the Pope is in bed with the Zionists. Kissinger, as you know, Rick, he's part of the Builders. What is that? The Builders group? I can't think of the something Builders.
Right, Bilderberger.
Yeah, and Kissinger is one of them, and he meets with them, and that's basically what I refer to the government behind. This one world government that is behind all the governments that we see, and Kissinger is part of that. And if the Pope hired him to basically, probably the Pope wants to know what in the world is going on that other side. I don't know.
True.
But I am not ready, because I don't have, you know what, I made a statement last night. I was on Jeff Friend's program, and I said, the opinion of millions of Americans is at no value if they don't have the knowledge. And so I really don't care of what, if the whole country has an opinion of something, which is, the whole country had an opinion when we went to war against Iraq, when we attacked Iraq. They had an opinion that we should go there. But to me, their opinion was at no value, because now we know they were wrong, and that opinion was based on not true knowledge. So I can't tell you that I agree with Leo about the Vatican, and I can't tell you that I agree with Judy about the Vatican, and but I don't know. I'm not saying that I know. I don't know, and I'm sure Judy. But I understand what you're saying. I was hoping maybe she can call and we'll hear from her, but I guess she's not, so I'm going to have to move on to the next subject.
Panoramas available. We are your exclusive source for custom-made fiber optic art displays since 1996. Truly unique and in a class of their own. Our products last a lifetime and decorate homes and offices just like yours worldwide. They make perfect gifts that are treasured for years.
Well,
we are committed to serving you, your family, and friends. Thank you for shopping at Cityscapes, and have a great day.
We can't even talk about the culprits that we know are guilty of these crimes.
By the way, I have some good news for our viewers out there. I will be on RBN's, the Republic Broadcasting Network, every Saturday from 4 to 6, and you can catch them on the internet at rbnlive.com, and also people with shortwave radio, they'll be able to hear it all over the world. But that's another venue that was opened for us, which we will be on every Saturday from 4 to 6 for 2 hours on the radio. Thank you, Rick.
All right.
Thanks. Okay, he's correct in a way that, and you can't speak about anything Catholic and in the open, but that has a lot to do with the religion itself, because Christianity is very much an open religion compared to Judaism, which is not an open religion, and it's just the way the religion's structured. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying that Christianity is better than Judaism or Judaism better than Christianity. Just saying that it is a closed religion in a way where not really too many people know about what's going on in there, but Christianity is open, and of course you can talk about anything Catholic, and believe me, even Catholics will not criticize you or call you anti-Catholic. I haven't heard anyone referring to anyone as being anti-Catholics, but if you do talk about, criticize anything, it used to be before, if you criticize anything Jewish, used to be labeled as anti-Semite. But now if you criticize anything Zionist or anything that has to do with Israel, you will be labeled as an anti-Semite. That's an interesting observation, actually. Thank you, Rick, for bringing the subject up, which is true. And if you really think about it, I can sit here and discuss the Pope and talk about him and whatever, and everybody will say, well, that's his free speech. But as soon as I start speaking about something Jewish or something Israeli or Zionist, some people will say, oh, he's an anti-Semitic. It's an interesting world that we live in. Now, let me qualify what I said when I said the opinion of millions of Americans is of no value if you don't have the knowledge. And like, for instance, a couple of days ago on the internet, it was people were supposed to vote on was Anna Nicole Smith daughter, was she, who's the father? Is it the attorney? Is it the guy, the other guy, the Bernstein or whatever? Is it, and they were like 40% saying this guy, 20% saying, and it's like, how do these people even give their opinion when they don't have the knowledge? They don't have any DNA. They don't have the facts in front of them, but yet people have an opinion of who the child belongs to. To me, I don't care about their opinion because it's of no value. And your opinion is of no value if you don't have the information, the true information. Tell you what, looks like Judy is calling on, go ahead, Judy. Are you there? Guys, I'm having problems with the phone. Are you there? Are you there? Are you there? The phone system is not cooperating tonight. 1, 2, are you there? Are you there? The phone is not working properly, so, okay. We will, I guess I will try. Okay, let's go now. Can you hear me? You're on, can you hear me? Somebody, can you hear me? All right, the phone is not cooperating. All right, let's get into the second story, and we will try to go back to the phone that is not cooperating tonight. Of course, we were warned off before we went on the air the first hour that they were having problems with the phones earlier, so but it worked kind of fine the first hour, but now in the second hour it is not working. So we just going to wait and then we'll go to it. Okay. Excuse me. Now the story, I came across an article, like I said in the first hour, on the local level here in our local newspaper. We have two guys with blogs. I can't hear them. She's holding, but I can't, the phone is not working. I know she's holding. I can't see the buttons that she's holding, but you guys need to do something over there. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear? Are you there?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I have no idea what's going on with the phone, but it works when it wants to work. Okay.
Oh, you're on now. Am I on?
You are on now. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I don't want to repeat myself, but I hope that nobody heard me saying that the Zionist Jews were not involved in this. I think that this Leo Zagami was saying that they're working at the top there with the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds. He was talking about the Holocaust and why the official narrative was created so that they would get Israel. The only thing that, and of course the Jewish people are brainwashed, and the Zionists have sacrificed Jews during World War II. So actually the rank and file Jewish people are totally ignorant, but the top, the Zionist people are really culpable. And just because, and I'm not saying anything bad about Catholics, because all I said before was that the average Catholic is certainly not aware of some behind-the-scenes nefarious Jesuit cooperation with Zionist Jews. I think that when you get to that level, what Leo's saying about this Luciferian cult, this solar cult, is what Michael Tazarian is saying and a lot of other people. These people milk the top of this pyramid, all joined together. And that's what all I was saying. So I don't think that, I hope nobody...
So Judy, I mean, that has nothing to do with you being born Jewish and jumped on the...
I'm always writing about Zionism.
And jumped on the first chance to kind of get the spotlights away from Jews and put it on the Catholics, are you?
No, well, I first of all, I have no allegiance to anything. I converted to Christianity. It happens in 1991. I had a full water baptism. To me, the Jewish religion has had very little attraction.
Well, I tell you what, you are one step closer to Islam, so...
I'm getting there. I'm totally getting there.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you. Okay, both of them, Rick and Judy, had the chance to get on here and clarify their position, so I'm glad for that. Okay, now I want to talk about this because I really need to speak about, like I said, we have two bloggers. One of them is Stephen, who, he also had a show here called Blue Mondays. He's a Democrat. And the other one is Don Bertrand, who writes, apparently, he's conservative, Republican maybe, or whatever. And like I said in the first hour, I never met the guy. He probably the nicest guy in the world, but I never met him. And so this has nothing to do with him personally, except, I have a problem with what he wrote. And if what he wrote, you see, this guy's opinion to me is of no value. And I'll tell you why. This is one of the people that I would put this guy, if he's going to make it where he has his own blog, and we have the local and only newspaper to put him on their website as one who speaks for the right, because Stephen speaks for the left, and Don speaks for the right, which is Republicans and Democrats. And if they're going to put him on, I think the Republicans really need to find somebody who at least is willing to go and research the stuff of what he wants to write about. Now, the reason I'm bringing this, not to beat up on Don, but because I'm sure there are probably thousands of people who write in newspapers, and could be that some people may get, it's probably the only article they will read for the whole week is what they are reading. And I'm going to start this with, now he wrote this article responding to the United States House of Representatives. They spent last week debating the non-binding resolution number 63, which is basically like, shall we hold fund, control the war, control Iraq with not funding it, but that's not what the core of his article. The core of his article saying that there are two distinct and opposing positions. He's talking about the war. Those that support victory in Iraq and will follow the commander-in-chief's current plan. So he's dividing people into two. One who support victory in Iraq and follow the commander-in-chief current plan. Is his current plan going to be any different than his last plan? In the real world, we fire people who make mistakes. This man has made a lot of mistakes and even admitted it, and even the Republicans, they admit that we made mistakes in Iraq. Okay? So the second people are those that want the troops to be pulled out now and do not feel the outcome spells defeat or do not fear defeat. Well, guess what, Don? Winning does not mean that you are to destroy the people. We destroyed a regime in Iraq that did not threaten us at all. We went to Iraq on false pretenses and destroyed the country. Now we are saying to continue with the current plan, and you're also calling that if we pull back, that means we are defeated. This whole process was defeated before it even started. So let's not talk about defeat, and also pulling out does not mean that we are defeated militarily. We are the strongest country in the world militarily. No one can defeat us. And if we leave Iraq, we are not being defeated if we leave Iraq. It might be the right decision to leave Iraq. But I agree with you on one thing, that we should not just pick up and leave overnight, and we will talk about this in a little bit of how we should do what we're doing in Iraq. And then he goes on to say No victory will be achieved in leaving Iraq prematurely without placing the struggling government firmly in control of their own security. You see, Don, you need to do your research. There is nowhere on earth that the Iraqi government that we placed in position will ever be able to control Iraq. It does not matter what we do, because it was wrong. It was the wrong government. We put them in there, and now, because, that was the biggest mistake that we made in this war, putting a government in Iraq that is 100% aligned with Iran. But you see, you're not doing your research. Otherwise, you will not be writing that we need to have this government. No, we need to do away with this government, because it is the wrong government. It's a sectarian government that it basically helped our purposes in the beginning of fueling the sectarian war that we were the cause of. Okay. He continues. That means training and equipping the Iraq military and security forces. Again, Don, Iran is equipping the same government and the same security forces you're talking about. These people, their allegiance is not, and their loyalty is not, even though we've given them billions of dollars, that government's allegiance is to the government in Iran, not the government of the United States. Do the research before you write stuff like this, because you are spreading nothing but garbage, uninformed. And how many people like you who write, and a lot of people get to read their stuff. This stuff is old. This is the language that we were, not we, but our government was talking before we even went and attacked Iraq. I want to continue because it's an interesting article. To hand over the struggling country too soon to the like of Al-Qaeda. Again, who is Al-Qaeda? To hand it over to the like of Al-Qaeda. What are you talking about? It is the Iraqis, the Iraqi people there, that we need to hand this over, not to one Shiite or one sector of that population. And get it out of your head. Al-Qaeda is not the one fighting us in Iraq. It is the Iraqi people who are fighting us, because we are an occupation army. We went there and destroyed the country. We killed 655,000 people. 2 months ago, an MIT study was published in British Medical Journal, one of the most respected British medical journals in England. It put the number at 650,000 Iraqis dead. John Hopkins just did a study. It was published last week. They put the number at 655,000 Iraqis dead. Now tell me about democracy in Iraq. Why don't you write about the 655,000? Why don't you tell people about it? All right, I'm getting hot. So I'm getting warm, but I'll get hot in a little bit. Morally, I love this. He starts one of the paragraphs with morally. Morally? What morals? What morals? Tell me. He's saying morally, wars can be argued from different points of view with legitimacy. Really? So now morals, we can be moral, but we can be different points of morals now and different points of legitimacy? There's only one. It's either a just war, and there are rules for a just war, and what we're doing in Iraq, it is not a just war by anybody's standards. I'm sure if you're watching, you're enjoying this, Don. However, despite how it is disguised, the argument that Congress can support the troops and not fund or support their mission is not legitimate. It is patently hypocritical, does nothing for morale, and does more to harm our troops and supports the enemy's message. Well, the morale of our soldiers, I'm sorry to tell you, it is down. It is down because right now they know that they are at a no-win situation in Iraq. They know that we went there not for the right reasons. They know we made a lot of mistakes there. They are tired and they want to come home. They are tired of killing innocent people because we have made them to be killer machines. And when they come back over here, we don't even respect them. You know, they give you, when you first join the army, they give you a bonus. And that bonus could be, I think they raised it up to $40,000 if you join in, but you have to sign a contract that you're going to be in there for, I guess, 4 years. Now, the story was, I guess, on 60 Minutes or probably ABC Nightline, the guy gets injured in the war. He comes back to the United States. Of course, he can't, I guess his legs were amputated, and he was discharged. Well, guess what? The Army went back asking for, because he only spent like a year in active service, and in order for you to get that money, the $20,000 or the $40,000, whatever bonus, sign-up bonus they give you, you are to stay on active duties for that long. And this guy, because he was injured in battle, now they're coming back to him and saying, you owe us some money. We're spending billions of dollars. There are $12 billion that we can't even find in Iraq. And now for somebody who almost lost his, well, he lost his life. Because when you're amputated and you have to sit home for the rest of your life collecting veterans check, might as well. And have the treatment that we give them here. You've seen the reports from Walter Reed Hospital. And I saw a report saying that rats and roaches at a manageable rate. What the heck does that mean? Manageable rate? What was it before? You sleep and there's a rat that comes sleep with you in the bed? Morally. Okay. All right, now he goes on to say that war updates from anyone other than the military commanders are largely based on the information received and digested on a daily basis in the media. Well, guess what? That's where you're getting your information from. You're getting your information from the great American Sean Hannity. You're listening to Rush Limbaugh. Wake up. Stop listening to these people. If you want to be on the blog and you want your writings to be read, then you owe it to your readers to do some work and research. And forget about politics. Don't think that you have to defend the undefendable. You cannot defend George Bush. You cannot defend wrong. You talk about morally. Morally is to go and get the right information to your readers. Morally is not to defend something that is wrong. Wrong is wrong. Period. Then he goes on to say, and also, you want to talk about war updates from anyone other than military? Well, I guess I'll tell you what. The military commanders have told us so many times that this is a wrong war. We went there for the wrong reason. You did not send us with enough equipment and with enough people there. I guess you did not hear about the 5 top generals who a couple of days ago said that they will resign if we go to war against Iran. That's what the generals are saying. Did you write that in your report anywhere? No. Okay, he goes on to say the news is not all good in Iraq. Well, of course not. And what triumphs that have taken place are overshadowed by the violence in Baghdad and few hotspots which weren't properly handled earlier. Was this primarily due to political correctness? He asked. Make no mistake about it. Everyone I know wants this guerrilla war over and our troops to come home. It is the conditions by which we leave Iraq. Our national security, our troops' safety, the state of the country of Iraq, and the ability of the young Iraq government to take over, we all question, and again, largely based on the bad news we receive each and every day. Our national security was not in jeopardy at all before we before we attacked Iraq. It was not. Our national security, Iraq was not, never was an enemy of the United States. Never was. As we think back on the days, weeks and months leading up to the deployment in Iraq, we should remember all the events and intelligence. It's a lie to the American public to say that the current administration used different intelligence than was previously used by the former Clinton administration, provided from the same sources. You're lying. You're lying. You're either ignorant or you don't know what you're talking about. Bush did not use the intelligence from our intelligence sources that we spend in billions of dollars. The CIA told him no. The FBI, every intelligence source told the president. But I'll tell you what sources they used. Go check out Douglas Feith. He was in the Pentagon. He's an Israeli. He was over the Office of Special Plans. That was under Paul Wolfowitz, who was under Rumsfeld, and they were all under Cheney. Go check that office out and see where all the stories were concocted. Not from the intelligence, our legit intelligence sources. Our intelligence was good, but they used different intelligence. And that same intelligence that you're talking about, Clinton rejected it because the neocons wanted Clinton. Back in 1996, they wrote the paper, Clean Break, Securing the Realm, Strategy for Securing the Realm. They wanted Clinton to go and attack Iraq and remove Saddam Hussein from power because it was an Israeli strategy in its own right. Go check that out. Bush did not use the intelligence that was available to Clinton. Clinton used the intelligence, the proper intelligence, and the legit intelligence, not the fabricated. And by the way, the Senate is now investigating Douglas Feith to see where all the lies, the weapons of mass destructions, and the yellow cake from Niger, and the leaks with Joseph Wilson's wife, and. Why don't you, Don Bertrand, write about all that? Why don't you go see what intelligence sources that had affected the president's decision to go to war? It was not the proper intelligence, and it was not the same intelligence sources that Clinton rejected these cronies that are now in control of the government. And then Mr. Bertrand goes on to say there were more than 17 United Nations resolutions and all were in agreement that the Hussein regime needed to go. You're lying. You show me right now one United Nations resolution that said to remove Saddam Hussein's regime. You are lying. And you know what? I have an open invitation for you. So if anyone knows this guy, tell him he needs, if you're not watching now, you're welcome to call. But if you're not watching, you have an open invitation, since you write for the Republicans in Lafayette, and apparently everybody on the Republican side in this town probably agrees, because they read your stuff, they read your garbage, they read your lies. You have an open invitation to come on this show and defend this and set me straight. That's an invitation, not a challenge. Take it whichever way you can. Now, like I said before, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know the guy. All I see is what he wrote. I never met him, never even heard of him before. But he's writing for the Republicans in the local newspaper here, the only newspaper here. He's saying that there were more than 17 United Nations resolutions and all were in agreement that Hussein regime needed to go. I challenge you to give me just one. I don't want more than 17 like you're saying. I want just one resolution from the United Nations. Remember, when we went and lied, you remember Colin Powell when he went to the United Nations with all these drawings of mobile, chemical, biological factories that Saddam Hussein was making? That this is the smoking gun, you wanted the smoking gun, this is the smoking gun. And that's exactly what we have done. We went to the United Nations and the United Nations would not take our side. And they told us no. When we decided to go and to the Security Council and have a vote, we canceled that because we did not have enough votes. Even Mexico said, no, we are not going to vote for you to go and attack Iraq. Mr. Don Bertrand, give me one UN resolution. You're saying there were 17. Give me one and I challenge you for that. If you can't come up with not even one, then the best thing for you to do is to close that blog and do not write in the name of the Republican Party, because I am a Republican, I'm affiliated with the Republican Party, and I take offense to people like you representing the party that I say I'm affiliated with. Now, we also lie to ourselves, he goes on, lie to ourselves if we don't see the danger to our own national security and we pull our troops out before the mission is complete. You know, the President of the United States can't even tell us what the mission is. Why don't you tell us what the mission is? Why don't you write about what the mission is? Identify the mission to the American people. Okay, let's see if the phone is going to work this time. I'm going to push that button and say, are you there?
Yes.
Hey, it worked. Go ahead.
Hey, I have a question.
Sure.
Every newscast, television program, every newspaper is always talking about the statistics about Iraq.
Yes.
How does one find out the statistics regarding Afghanistan and the other some 120 nations around the world that the United States have casualties in? How many casualties have we had in Afghanistan? I have written congressmen. I have written the news services. I've written newspapers. Not one reply have I gotten. Why are they never saying one word about the casualties in Afghanistan?
I had Dr. Mohammed Meraki on the phone on the program twice before, and he is an Afghani. He lives in Chicago. He's a researcher, and he did tell us that there is hundreds of thousands. I mean, I'm not talking about 500,000, but there are, just like we have 655,000 in Iraq, we do have a lot of casualties in. He did mention the figure, I don't know, but it's in the hundreds of thousands. It could be 200, 300, I don't know. But that's it's a very high number.
But why are they keeping it secret? How come they never say one word about it?
Well, why are they keeping it secret? Because they're keeping secret the. Now, I see what you're saying, you know, why there are studies about Iraq and not about Afghanistan, because I guess Iraq is the biggest thing that we have now, and we forgot about Afghanistan. And by the way, Afghanistan, the Taliban are coming back in Afghanistan. You know, if they can hit the largest American base, military base in Kabul, in the capital, just imagine how strong they are.
One more question I'd like to find out about. If we have plans on leaving Iraq pretty soon, why are they spending billions of dollars on building the largest foreign embassy ever built, which is supposedly larger than the Vatican in Iraq? I would love somebody to touch on that.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, we are, by the way, building the largest embassy in the world in Iraq. And we are not leaving Iraq if we continue on the same road that we are on now. I'm going to talk a little bit about Iraq and bring in Iran in the mix, because right now, and I've talked about this a couple of months ago, that the only way we can even manage the war in Iraq is if we made a lot of mistakes, and one of them is ignoring the Sunnis' right in Iraq, because Saddam Hussein was Sunni, the Sunnis were in power, and we went there and basically started killing the Sunnis. And that's where the insurgency, most of the insurgency is from the Sunnis Arabs. And so what happened now, because Iran, you see, it's so funny if you know anything about this, you're probably not going to get everything I'm talking about, but Iran, we had Iraq fight Iran back in the 1980s because we did not Iranian influence on the other Arab countries in the region. And we supported Saddam Hussein in that war. Now, what happened is, now when we destroyed Iraq, we told the Shiites who are aligned with Iran to come in and take over, which we expanded the Iranian sphere of influence. Well, that's a problem. And then after we allowed that, you see, we knew that was going to happen. After we allowed that, then now we're telling the Arabs, oh, you know what? We don't want that Iranian influence on the on your countries, so now we're going to switch side. Now we are going to help you, the Arab countries, which in turn help in the Sunni insurgency that we are being fighting for the last 4 years. I'll tell you what, I got a lot of people on the phone, so I will go with Larry. Go ahead, Larry. Or Richard. Somebody. Are you on? Go ahead, you're on. Go ahead, you're on. Okay, we're having problems with the phone, so I guess once the hang up from the inside, it will come out here. Okay. No, I mean, they have to hang up from the inside. I can't see what the problem is. Are you there? Just tell them to put them on hold from the inside, and we'll see. As long as they are on that, I can't. We're having problems with the phone, so let's go ahead and just finish with the people inside. Are you on? Are you on? Are you on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm not going to spend all night saying, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, you brought out some excellent points, and one of the points that I like about you is if you think about the 21st century, what America has done. I mean, we squandered our public school systems. We squandered health care. We squandered our environments. We squandered our veterans, care. We squandered our infrastructure. We squandered, the trust in our leadership around the world, all because of some neocon AEI position papers that these guys keep writing about, like the gentleman you're just writing about there, who keep supporting this thing and is eviscerating the middle class, is eviscerating the poor, is eviscerating our economy. I just don't understand why these Republicans are so, drunk with this neocon nonsense that's just, wasting our country. And, I mean, it's like you point out, the Constitution, and if not our planet, just deserves better. And I don't know, but you're doing a fine job at getting that information out. But I just wanted to point out how much we have squandered chasing this neocon mass craziness, and then destabilize the Mideast, instead of offering honest, negotiating and statesmanship, and good ways to make the Middle East work. And we just squandered everything. 21st century is absolutely madness, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent call. Excellent call. And he's absolutely right. We're almost spending $3 trillion on this war. Ladies and gentlemen, $3 trillion. If you know what $1 billion is, $1 billion is 1,000 millions. Can you imagine? Just imagine how much money we spent. We can put every homeless and everyone who is renting out there in a house of his own. We can cover everybody on health care. We can give salaries to our teachers to have the best salaries. We can help our families. We can help our businesses that are going outside. $3 trillion and counting, ladies and gentlemen. Not counting the $8 billion that were missing in the Pentagon. And not counting the $12 billion that were missing in Iraq. The caller is right. We have few people who controlled our government. And their heart is not with the United States. What is happening out there, ladies and gentlemen, it's an old story. It was in Israel's advantage to destroy Iraq. When you destroy Iraq, there's a paper, and I wrote an article. You can go on my website, www.currentissues.tv, and right in the beginning you will see, read Hesham's latest article. You will see all the documents that I have put to explain to you why we went there. I'm not gonna go in details about it, but the Israeli factor is huge in this. We have created a monster in Iraq, basically because we have put the Arabs and the Iranians. We basically gave the Iranians some influence when we beat up on the Sunnis and kind of lift the Shiites in Iraq. We gave them power. We let them basically destroy the Sunnis. And we destroyed the Sunnis. And now, because, you see, Iraq is an Arab country. The Arab countries around Iraq are mainly Sunnis government. Even though they also have, some of them have some Shiite subjects. And some of these countries even have more Shiites than Sunnis, but Sunnis are in power. So these people are worried about their regimes. So what is happening now, these Sunni Arab governments are basically bargaining with the United States, and the United States has to give them something. So they switch inside. The United States are showing that we're switching sides, basically to inflame this Sunni Shiite who nobody is going to be winner in except Israel. Because now they're going to have Israel look like someone who's defending the Arabs against Iran. And now Israel is going to be a huge power breaker. Okay? I understand. Let's just, you guys are really distracting me here. Just keep them. We'll go to them. The phone is not functioning right. But, all right, let's go to the phones. They want me to go to the phones. People keep calling. Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Are you there? Are you there? Can you hear me? Guys, the phone is not working properly. I'm telling you. And are you there?
The line is not available.
The line is not available. Okay. Now, if you can call one at a time, go ahead. Somebody call now. And then I think the phone tonight can only handle one at a time. So I don't know how much time we have. We still have probably about 15 so minutes. I can take somebody, just put them, send them back here quick because the phone is not functioning right. Okay, let's see. Can you hear me? Are you there? Are you there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Great. I'm glad. Go ahead. This phone is frustrating me tonight.
I just wanted to comment on your last guest speaker and what he mentioned about the economy and the United States being brought to its knees. That really concerns me, especially, it's ironic because today the Dow Jones took such a big dive. So I'd like you to talk a little bit about the economy.
Sure, go ahead. Oh, you want me to talk about it? Oh, I guess you want me to talk about the economy. Okay. Well, the economy of the United States is number one, our jobs are leaving. It is the economy. Let me talk about the dollar, and also your economy, because when you used to take $100 and go to the grocery store, you used to come up with a bunch of stuff. Now you come up with a little stuff. And the reason is the dollar, because of the war, because people are running away from the dollar, they see in the dollar it's going to tank. And when that happens, people are going to be dumping. You see, I think this is the end of the road for us on, actually people out there, they have to work for their money. And I know he's going to say that American people are working for their money. Yes, I agree. But we are printing money. Somehow we got the world to accept the dollar as the only currency to trade oil. And that's what basically made the dollar the strongest currency in the world at one time, and it's still very strong. I mean, these years of having the dollar being the world currency, it's not going to go over overnight, but it's going down quickly. You have Syria just dumped 50% of their reserves from dollars to euros. Iran went to the euros and they created their own borsa, oil borsa, which is trading oil with using the euro. What does that mean? If you're using a lot of dollars, that means there is demand on the dollar. If you're not using the dollar, then there's a lot of dollars in the market because people are using the euro, which means the dollar value is going to go down. The dollar lost 30% of its value since the war. Don't think the price you're paying at the gas pump just because the vicious and greedy oil companies wanted to do that. Well, forget about gas. How much are you paying for a loaf of bread? How much are you paying for a gallon of milk? If you think how much you paid for a gallon of milk before we started this war with Iraq, you will see that it's 30% more now, at least. We are paying our dollar, because the value of our dollar is not what it used to be before. When we are buying these products, we are paying more for these products. The economy of the United States, number one, we are losing our manufacturing base big time. Big time. Number two, just wait until this North American Union happens, when it's free for all on both sides of our borders, in the south and in the north. If we're thinking about the Mexicans, forget about the Mexicans. Think about how many millions of people, poor countries, we have in South America. The past is coming. What do they say? Chickens are coming home to roost. Just think of what will happen when that happens. And this global economy, the people who, if Leo Zagami was right in what he's talking about, but forget about the Illuminatis. I know for a fact that the government that we are talking about, that you see, is not the real government that's controlling it. And the only way these people are going to have globalization is if they get rid of the global power, the only global power in the world, which is the United States. So don't think we are in this mess that we put ourselves in. We made a lot of enemies because we told the people that we want to control the world, but the world had another plan. They don't want the world, they don't want the United States to control the world. So the only way is to destroy the economy of the United States. No one can destroy us militarily. No one. We are the best. We are the best because we spend, our military budget is 15 times more. No, I'm sorry, 5 times more the last 15 countries behind us. Okay? Now, we only have half a minute. I apologize for all the people that we did not get to because the phone did not cooperate. I know we probably need another hour to talk about this, but I got aggravated with the phone lines. They did tell us from the beginning that the phone lines will give us problems, and it sure did. It did give us problems. I apologize for everyone we did not get into to take their calls. And we will see everybody remember, we are on RBN. Go to RBN Live, www.rbnlive.com. I will be on that every Saturday from 4 to 6. You can listen to us on shortwave radio all over the world, and that's another venue that was opened up. Good night. We'll see you next Tuesday.